Got it, Carlos.
Got it. Thanks, Anna.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for oh, where did Carlos go? There it is.
There we are.
Wait.
Starting off strong.
Wait.
It is all good. It's the beauty of doing this from home, right?
Right.
Wait. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Let's try it.
All right. First of all, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
We're doing swell.
Yeah, we're doing so good. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you guys came.
And we're happy to be here. We're really happy to be here. So
Me too. I'm so excited because we have so much to talk about when it comes to Samland. First of all, how did Juan Pablo's former work influence his directorial debut in this film?
Juan Pablo's been at this for a long time. He's a lot of his work. I know that he said that he worked in a lot of like reality, but it's not really where his heart and soul is at. Obviously, he went to film school and he did the whole like schooling and everything. Then he moved out to LA. Like, how long ago did he move out to LA, Carlos? Do you know? No? Okay. Don't know.
No.
But I know that he started the script for Samland like 11 years ago, which is outrageous. He started writing it, and it was just one of those things of like finding the right time to get the funding and finding the right time to film it and all that kind of stuff. And now here we are. So, I mean, it's always been, I think, a passion for him. And now it's finally gotten to the point where he's able to actually like bear the fruits of his labor. So it's been really exciting to honestly watch his career kind of like grow into something that he's always wanted for himself.
Absolutely. That's really inspiring and super cool to know about. Carlos, since your character was loosely developed based on his experiences, what kind of conversations did you have with him to truly understand his thought process in each of these situations?
Yeah. Actually, I came in really early in the process, and it's been like a roller coaster. Let me tell you, a lot of things have happened. We've had to be really patient, and the fact is that we believed in the project, and we didn't mind at all stopping for months to restart the project again. And so we sat down like 5 years ago because he wanted to do this 2-minute presentation of the film. And at the beginning, the story was different. He was a Colombian. I mean, this past was from Colombia, and he was speaking from his experiences. And I had to kind of like adjust a little bit in accent-wise, and in terms of culture as well. And it was going really well. So actually those 2 minutes of presentation, I mean, I was comfortable with the accent and with everything that was going on for the character. But then along the way, he decided to change it to a Venezuelan. He thought it was maybe more interesting right now to make him a Venezuelan, because Venezuela is on the map. Not in a positive way, though, unfortunately. But so then everything changed, because everything like fit perfectly for me, because I'm also Venezuelan. And Paz and I have a lot of things in common. Like, you know, we are searching for the American dream. We are hard workers, people. And it was kind of easier for me to step into his world and become Paz in a way. I had to make a lot of adjustments, of course, but I really felt comfortable under his skin. And what I tried was to give honesty to my work as much as I could, and try to understand him in a profound way, really deep inside what he was feeling and going through at the moment. he was a very lonely soul when the whole story started, and the same for Sam. So this was it was just great for me to work on this project and portray this character.
Yeah, he definitely goes through a journey, just like your character, Hannah. How did you find the heart for your character? Because she goes through a pretty big roller coaster throughout the film.
Sam was absolutely exhausting to play. I think after every day of filming, I would turn to everybody, I'm like, I just need a beer. Like, if we just go get a drink. Sam's character is completely opposite of who I am as a person. She's a wild child. She's got some vices. She's got some problems. But the one thing that was really kind of easy was giving her still like a soul and a personality, because no matter what somebody's vices are or what they're going through, you know, they still have like something that makes them like human that you can connect to. And so one of the biggest things that Juan and I talked about was making her likable, even though she was really dislikable, especially like what she's putting Paz through. You know, she's very complicated. You're like, why does she act like this? Like, what the heck's her deal the entire time? And so I kind of like played into more of like, she's a person, but she has problems, just like everybody else. I also had a personal life experience with somebody that I was very close to growing up, who kind of got involved in like a scene that was not very great. And so I kind of watched how she went from somebody that was very, you know, wholesome and family oriented and got involved in some bad situations, and it completely down spiraled. So that was something that I don't want to say that I'm lucky that I was able to pull from, but unfortunately it was something that I was able to witness and to see and know, okay, this is what people go through, this is a problem. But in the end, they're still the same person that you've always known. They're just going through different life situations. And so that was kind of like how I molded Sam together. Honestly, when I saw the film for the first time and I was watching it, and I told Juan, I was like, holy moly, she is a lot of work. And I told Juan, I was like, I don't think if I were to do Sam today, I would be able to do Sam the same way that I did her, because I'm a completely different person now than what I was 3 years ago when we filmed Sam. And so it was kind of just like the naivete of being, you know, having that youth and having that like kind of wild child spirit when you're in your early 20s, as opposed to growing and going through life experiences and becoming a different person. And it's interesting how you would approach a character differently in different periods of your life. But I always say I'm glad that I was able to do Sam at that point in my life, because Sam would have been a completely different character if I did her like today.
What would Sam be like today?
Sam would be a lot more, she would think things through a little bit more. She wouldn't be as impulsive. She wouldn't, you know, just run away 1,000 times. She would actually take responsibility for the things that she was doing and not try to blame everybody else. Just a little bit more collected and put together and not so frantic, I think.
Very nice. I'm curious, from both of your experiences, both in life and with this film, how do you think that the story ultimately helped you understand the true immigrant experience?
Go, Carlos.
Yeah, it helps a lot, because immigrants go through a lot of tough moments in their lives, as Paz did in this film. They have to try to find themselves in this new environment, because, you know, one thing is when you are at home with your people, with your customs and everything, and your food, and then you have to migrate, and everything changes for you. Everything is a problem, or not everything, but you have to go through hurdles, and you have to adjust. You have to learn how to adjust, and it depends on your principles and values, and where you're coming from, how you are going to adapt to this new environments and life situations, you know. So it helps a lot, because as you can see, he's been in the States, past, I mean, for a long time, and despite of the fact that he's been trying to be the good guy and he's been trying to be a good man, he finds himself involved in this illicit situations with the drug and everything. And he might, I'm pretty sure he didn't want to get into that, but he finally had to do it because of out of desperation, I guess. And I suppose that a lot of immigrants go through all that as well. That I had to work a little bit on, because for me, it hasn't been that hard, because I did a lot of television and films and everything in Venezuela. And it's been kind of hard to find the right roles and to find the movies that I want to make. And so in that regard, yeah, it's been really hard, but way different from what Paz was going through. And so the audience is going to be able to understand a little bit how hard it is for immigrants to come over to this country and just find the American dream and even find new love in this case that happens as well. So in that regard, yeah, that's how I see it. I don't know. How do you see it, Hannah?
So growing up in South Florida, I was always around immigration. You know, I grew up around a huge Cuban culture, and, you know, being involved with them, friends with them, you know, and having different relationships with them, you would always hear, you know, what it was like, you know, and most of them were first generation Americans. So their parents were the ones that had to come over to America and make the trip across the ocean. And, you know, so I guess I was a little bit more well-rounded when it came to immigration because I was around it my entire life. And it really is one of those things where it's a comfortability level, I think, with Americans. You know, anything that's foreign, I feel like people usually shy away from. They're scared of it. They don't understand it. But I think that with education and with communication and really just opening the door for conversation, I think that it can really make people more comfortable in understanding of what's really going on, and to understand that we are, you know, we're all just humans, just trying to make a living and doing the same thing and breathing the air. And doing this film, I think it's definitely very personal for Juan and for everybody involved on the film, for you guys, because it is something that you relate to. It is something that is your culture and something that is close to your heart. And I personally feel like I was just lucky to be there and witness it. So it is really something that's magical. And the film, the story itself, I really hope portrays the audience, like Carlos said, what it's like for people to come over here. And it's not easy. There is a lot of, you know, desperation involved in it. And there's a lot of like do or die situations that people have to deal with. And it's, for me personally, I feel like the most growth happened by just watching how passionate you guys are about your work, and watching how passionate you are about your stories, and hearing Juan talk about how his mother also worked in immigration when he was growing up, and hearing about some of her stories and getting to meet her and kind of like understand like the process and everything of everything that goes on. Because, you know, all we really hear is people coming to America. We don't really hear about what it takes to actually get here. So I feel like that's really the most important thing that I think that we're trying to drive home, is that we all want the same things. It's just a little tougher to get there sometimes.
Well, that message.
And you know what? And you know what I find really amazing about this story and interesting is the fact that it's not only about the immigrant and his problems and the hurdles that they have to go through, but the American who is not in a good place either. You know, Sam is really going through tough times, you know, and she is the one who has problems with the drugs, you know, and she's really in deep. So it's this magical thing about the immigrant world and the American world as well through Sam, and that's what makes this movie so special, because it's not like you're trying to be nice to one of them and justify the other or whatever. Juan Pablo is just presenting a world there, two lives there, who are, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of Sams around, and there are a lot of
Pauses.
passes around. Oh my God. Okay. All right. A lot of passes around. So and how they collide in a moment in their lives, and magical things happen, and they start helping each other without even realizing it, even without wanting to help each other. And that's what makes this story so special.
It really is a special story. So congratulations, you guys. Thank you so much for your time. And hopefully I'll see you at Santa Fe Film Festival in February.
Woo! Yes, you
All
will.
right. All right.
Thank you so
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
I'll talk to
I
you
hope to
soon.
see you there too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao, Hannah.
Bye, Carlos.
Adios.